Che here, the No Spoon Podcast. Thank you for checking out my channel. If you like what you see, go ahead and subscribe and turn on your post notifications so that you don't miss out on the latest content. Also, like and share with as many people as possible. And if you got an opinion or something that you just want to add to the conversation, I want to hear about it down in the comments section. Until then, enjoy the video. What's going on, everybody? Che here at the No Spoon Podcast. Just tapping in for another reaction video. Before we get on with this video, make sure you subscribe to this channel, hit the like button, share it with as many people as possible. This is how we break through the algorithm. This is how we get it generated and going viral and getting the information out to as many people as possible. So if you have not subscribed, go ahead and do so now. Um, the video that we're going to talk about today is a video that has gone viral for the last couple of weeks. It's actually an old video. It's video's like 3 years old or something like that, and it's a video of a show that Vivica Fox hosts. I think it's called Face the Truth or something like that. Anyway, she had a young man on there with his mother, and they were talking about some of the problems that he was having. If you see like the headline of the video that's gone viral, the overlay that's on the video, it talks about how the main point of the video, why it went viral, was about like how this is what happens when men try to open up about their mental health issues, about depression, about anxiety, so on and so forth, all these different things, right? I kind of have a different take on all that. um and I want to get into it, and I think it's important because one of the themes that you're going to notice here from this video, and a lot of things that I talk about, I don't believe that you can have um, feminine answers to masculine problems, right? And the same is true in the inverse. Like, you can't have masculine answers to feminine problems. I think that men or women are different. Sorry, I know that that's controversial to say in these days. Um, I think we're unique in how we approach life and how we see life and our perspectives. And I think that what we bring to the table is very valid, each of us. As a man, I will never really understand how women completely think, their viewpoints, and they're not going to be able to see how I completely think and my viewpoints. But however, we both understand that the roles that we play, and then when we come together, united as one, um, to form a family structure, which is what the ultimate goal is, then we can see that we're unstoppable and we can provide all the answers. Like, just a lot of things I always say. I said, not everybody knows, not one person knows everything, but everybody knows something. Like, so what I bring to the table is relevant. What she brings to the table is relevant. Um, I think the problems that we see that's going on in the world today is a product of the collapse and destruction of the family unit, the family structure. The lack of true masculinity, the lack of true femininity, people, both men and women, playing their respective roles, respecting their respective roles, uh, bringing what they bring to the table, and making a more cohesive and united structure that can allow society to flourish. That's basically what I see. And I see that, this is a good example. This is why I wanted to react to this video and give you my take on it, because it's so telling, right, on where we missed the point as a society, where we've missed the point. I don't like the way I look at this, right? As you see, this young man is a product of a single parent household with a single mother, and this is a lot of the reasons why there's destruction. I don't blame either one. So I don't, for one, I don't want you to want this to come across as I'm blaming one particular sex over the other, right? I'm not blaming women, and I'm not blaming men. Every situation is different. Every relationship is unique. I don't think that in every relationship that there is one side that bears all the responsibility. I think that it's something that both sides should bear. Now, the degree varies. I don't always just believe women. I don't always just believe men. I think that they're both complicit in in the destruction of the family unit. So, with that being said, however, most of these single parent households are single mothers, right? And they're raising men to do exactly what they've hated. and become the men that they have resented. I'll talk about it here and also give up some solutions to what I think that we can do moving forward. But let me play the video. I'm going to stop it and give my input. But let's start with this video and we'll get into it.
Desperate for her son Ty to get his life together. He has no job and no goals. Lavinia, what was Ty like as a child?
I'm a single parent. I had to work. This kid would pick up his two little sisters, make sure that they eat, make sure that their homework was done. If I had to stay late, he'd make sure they took a bath and put them to sleep. And then he changed.
Ty, you're getting really emotional right now, and so am I.
Now, look, she immediately goes into, I'm a single mother. I had to work. I had to stay late at work. So she obviously worked a lot, right? Understandable. You only have one stream of income, presuming that you only had one job. Maybe she had two. A lot of people have two jobs nowadays, and I don't see how you can make it with one stream of income. So, of course, she worked a lot. She said that he took care of his brothers and sisters or whatever, his siblings. He clothed them, feed them, gave them baths, got them ready for school. I mean, I'm presuming he did a lot of different things, right? See, but here's where the problem has started, right? The problem is started because there's already been an imbalance. He's already assuming a role that is not natural to him, right? He's already taken on responsibilities that he's not supposed to take on as a child, right? What this mother needed was her partner to help raise the child. And that partner should have been her husband. Now, I don't know what their relationship status was, if they were married, if they were divorced, or whatever the situation may be. But ideally, she should have had her husband there. Now, a lot of people will say because she's a single mother, that what she does is she has tried to make her oldest son, in this sense, it's this young man here, her man. That's an argument that's made all the time, right? That this is what happens, that these single mothers, their sons become their men and they want them to be their man. I look at this a little different. She wasn't trying to make him her man. She was the man. She was the primary breadwinner of that house. She was the head of the household. She was the authoritarian, the disciplinarian. She was the one who provided order. She was the one who brought resources to the family. She was in charge of everything. He was the housewife in this situation. That's what he played. He cooked, he cleaned, he took care of the kids, he got people ready for school. He took care of all the domestic chores that under a natural setting that is more natural towards women. Now, when I say these things, and I've said this before, I have another video on this, right? Gender roles. See, nowadays they tell you that gender is a social construct, right? That it's something that we've just decided as a society that men are over here and women are over there. That is completely false because it ignores the fact that these constructs or these roles, so I should say, these roles did not form from biological nature. Women do things domestically because they are naturally inclined to do some. Men are inclined to go out there and hunt, provide. They're out there to protect. This is our natural inclination. You see, that's the difference there, right? And so this young man, he was being brought up and raised to be something outside of his nature. So she says, oh, then he changed. Well, yes, he changed. He grew up. He grew up. He wanted to be a man. He realized, I can't sit around here being your wife all day. I need to be a man. I need to go out there. I need to go and do what I'm trying to do. I need to go out there and conquer the world. See, this is what I say about trying to have feminine answers to masculine problems. He was asked to do something that was outside of his nature. She was asked to do something that was outside of her nature. Right? She had to be the man. She had to be the masculine energy. And because of that, he could never develop as the masculine man that he was supposed to be. How are you supposed to lead? How are you supposed to be ahead of your household? How are you supposed to get married and be a husband if you've been playing housewife your whole life? So when she says he's changed, I don't see that he's changed, and she's trying to bring him back. What he did is he grew up. We all go through this, especially young boys. We go through this stage where we want to be men now. I'm the alpha now. I'm the man now. I want to be a man. I want to go out there. I want to get my own things. I want to have my own family, establish my own name, my own legacy, build my own foundation. But he's saying he's changed. She's not recognizing that if she would have had her husband there to be able to guide him properly, preferably that husband would be his father, right? Then she would understand this. And a lot of times, I'm just saying, being honest here, these single mothers, right? A lot of these times that you try to hold on to your sons is because you know you're going to be alone. If he goes out there and he finds him a wife and he starts his own family, who's going to get old with you? That should be your husband. But because you're in this unnatural relationship, you're in this unnatural family unit. Now you're worried and you're stagnating his growth. Let me play it a little bit more, and we'll talk about some of these other things because it gets even more interesting.
Yeah, I did
I didn't
things,
know
and I'm
what
still
you
that kid. I'm still that kid.
I haven't
told
seen
her
him in
that.
10
I'm still that
years.
kid. I'm still that kid. I'm tired. I'm depressed. I'm tired.
You go.
Okay.
I'm tired. I'm just tired. I'm hurt. I've been through stuff in my life.
Because
No,
you
that's
chose
personal.
to.
No, it don't even matter about none of that.
It does
No,
matter.
listen, it does. It does. But I'm tired.
Look at he's trying to hold on. See, he's trying to still appease his mom and say, "Man, I'm still that kid. I'm still that kid." Bro, you're not that kid. I'm not that kid. I'm almost 40 years old. I'm not that kid no more. I'm not. I can't be that kid. You're a grown man. You can't be that kid, but you still trying to appease mom because mom is riding you. Mom is on you. Mom is telling you, "Oh man, you need it. You help. Why ain't you doing this? Why don't you want to come over here? Why don't you want to take care of the kids? Why don't you want to cook dinner? Why don't you want to do all this stuff?" In the back of his head, he's like, "Because I'm not your wife. That's why I'm not your wife." But I don't want to tell mom that because mom hits me with this. I've been a single mother. I've been working hard. I've been doing all this. You owe me. 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 So I'm still that kid. I'm still that kid. Now, when we talk about this situation, like I said, if you look at the overlay, it says this is what happened when men try to open up with the depression and all that things, right? Um, and a lot of the things that people are talking about and commenting on social media is about how men can't cry, men can't open up. I'm not really with all that either, to be honest with you. I don't think that's productive. I think, again, those are feminine answers to masculine problems, right? That the feminine energy is to say, let's cry, let's vent, let's get it off our chest. Men, we don't really operate like that. We want solutions. We want to find answers. We want to come up with the solutions, and then we want to act on them and fix the problem. Right. So to sit here and say that he should be crying, I'm not saying that men can't cry. I'm not saying that men can't show emotions and all that stuff, but our emotions need to be rightly guided and guided with logic and reason first and foremost. You see, that's the part I think that this whole idea that men can be crying and men can open up and men can be vulnerable. I don't see the productivity in being vulnerable in any way, shape, or form. Like, I don't want my family to be vulnerable to an attack from a robber or something like that, from somebody trying to steal. I don't want to be walking down the street feeling vulnerable. I don't understand that. We want to feel protected, we want to feel secure. So even emotionally, you don't really need to be vulnerable. You need to just find answers. And I think what happens is that we try to tell these young men that it's okay for you to be crying. It's okay for you to just be sitting there venting all the time and complaining. Now you sounding like your mama. You sounding like a woman just sitting here complaining about problems instead of finding solutions like you're supposed to do and going out there and solving the problems and implementing your solutions and making a change. I think what it comes down to, like the depression thing and stuff like that, a lot of these things are man-made things. These are things that we have instilled in our society that you can't overcome your problems. You would rather sit there. And I think that these radical feminists that just want to dominate men, these bitter single baby mamas just walking around that just want to dominate men, they would love to see men be vulnerable. They would love to see men not take their natural position and provide and protect and be the strong strength and the pillar of the family that they should be. That's what I think it is. So I'm not really with this whole idea that he should just be vulnerable and open up and boo-hoo and this and this and that. I think he should find solutions and find answers. But you're going to a panel full of women that are trying to give you feminine answers to your masculine problems. If he would have talked to men, if he had his father and he talked to his father and his grandfather, and they would sit there and say, "What's the problem?" What's the problem? And how can we find the answers? Where's the solutions? And if he said, "Oh, I don't want to talk," it's like that remember that scene in The Godfather where I believe Johnny Fontaine, he came back and he was like, "Man, doing all this whining," and and Don Vito grabbed him and said, "You can act like a man. Stop doing all this crying. Like, what is that all about? Go out there and find some solutions. This is what you're supposed to do. If you're the head of the household, if you're the leader, and you're showing the people up under you that you're scared, you're weak, you're emotional, you're sad, they have no more confidence in you. And this is what these dominant women want. They want men that are like that. They want men that are vulnerable. They want men that are going to sit there and boo-hoo and open up to them and tell them their feelings and curl up in a ball and want you to hold them all night, instead of men that are say, "Don't worry, there's a problem. I'm going to go find the solution. I'm going to find the answer. I'll be back." And then come back and be like, "I got it. This is what we're going to do. Here's the game plan." You wouldn't want to go to work. You wouldn't want to go to work and see your boss crying in the corner and say, "Hey, what's up, boss? Oh, we're not making any money and I don't think I'm gonna be able to pay you." You're not gonna sit there and be like, "Oh man, that's cool that you can be vulnerable and you can open up to us." You're gonna be like, "Well, you better find some answers. You're the boss. You're the captain of this ship, and I need to pay the bills." So, all that. That's how they talking on social media. Oh, this is what happened when men open up. Man, nah. This is what happens when you try to give feminine answers to masculine problems. When you try to give these young men this advice coming from a panel full of women, as you see on there, where they don't know what it's like to be a man. Being a man is not easy. It's not all roses. People don't buy us drinks and fly us out and, you know what I'm saying, pay for our meals. That ain't work like that. Let's get back to it, and then I'll sum it up with how I feel like the solutions to the problem.
Like I said, I'm depressed. I have personal things going on. Sometimes that
Tell
can
us
stop
what those
somebody.
personal things
that
are.
can stop people. Me being depressed.
What are
like
those
me,
personal things you're going through?
Like-
Stop yelling about them and tell us about it.
All right, like my personal stuff. Like I never really had friends, and then when I got around friends, I basically always did exactly. I always had to like. It's like I feel like yeah, you gave me everything, but you kind of gave me too much. But because you gave me too much, my friends were jealous of me. I always had fake friends around me. So that's what I'm saying. It's cool that you did that, but you also got to understand what that brings, what that attracts, Mark. You got to feel me on that. That's what I'm saying.
You got some twisted logic
Yes.
going on here. That's some
Nah,
twisted
man, like I'm
logic.
just saying, it's mental things that can mess with.
Okay,
Like,
but
it's mental
Ty,
things that bothers me in the
you're
physical
telling us that
world.
you're depressed?
I don't have motivation. How can I have motivation? Yes, how can I have my motivation when everything is handed to me?
Right, so you're telling us that you're depressed.
Yeah, I'm depressed. I'm always depressed. I'm in a dark spot. I know I'm in a dark spot, and I've
you
been
in a
there for
dark
a
spot?
long time.
But Ty, that's still no reason that if you feel that in your dark place, to take that out on your mother.
That's my best friend, yo.
You can't have feminine answers to masculine problems. They completely miss the point. See, you're going to a panel full of women that can't help you because they don't know what it's like to be a man. They're only going to give you the answers from their perspective. And that perspective is a feminine perspective. That perspective is a woman's perspective. It's a mother's perspective, right? See, he said something very interesting. And you see, as soon as he said it, they went, "Oh, your logic is twisted, this and that." He said, "You gave me everything. How can I have motivation when you gave me everything?" You see, here's the thing. Mothers, this is how you think. This is how you are. This is your natural state of being. You want to nurture your children, right? You want to nurture them, you want to protect them, you want to make sure that they don't feel any pain and suffering. You feed them, you clothe them, you give them everything that they need so they can get to a certain point where they can stand on their own 2 feet. But once they get to that point, especially boys, this is when you have to give them to the father. And then the father says, "Okay, now you're going to have to fall. And you're going to have to learn how to struggle. You're going to have to learn how to feel pain. And you're going to have to learn how to overcome that pain and overcome that struggle. You're going to have to learn how to get through it. You're going to have to learn to earn your way in this world." And see, as a mother, you don't want to do that. You know why? Because life is difficult out there. It really is. It's difficult out, especially for men. Just like I said, nobody buys our drinks. Nobody flies us out. If we can't earn it, we ain't no good. We have no value. Mothers know this because they're women, and that's how they judge men. So they understand that. They're no good baby daddy that doesn't pay any child support and this and that. Yeah, he's no good because because he doesn't provide anything for you. And so they don't want their sons becoming like that. So they try to keep them close to them. They try to keep them in the house. They want to keep them under their wing for as long as they possibly can because life is difficult out there. It's difficult out there, especially when you're growing up in a single parent household, maybe in the inner cities and whatnot. And you got gangs, you got drugs, you got all these different things going on out there. You got the police, you got people, all these things happening outside. And then you got to deal with bosses. You got to deal with the struggle of paying rent. You got to deal with all these different things that go on that men have to deal with. So what do women try to do? Give them stuff, give them stuff, give them more. They want to overcompensate for the lack of a father in their household. So they give them all the shoes, all the clothes, all this and all that. Don't worry, you don't have to work. Your job, of course you don't have to go. What do you want to get a job for? Your job is to take care of your brothers and sisters. Your job is to make dinner. Your job is housewife. But then he breaks free. And this is where a lot of men, young men in these situations, they want to go out there to the streets. They see people out there gang banging and hitting licks and doing all these different things. That's what I want to be doing. I don't want to be sitting over here giving baths to my little brothers and sisters and vacuuming and doing laundry. I see the men out there, they're fighting. There's a war. We don't get along with them guys around the corner. I want to be out there. Woman is trying to keep him keep him under the wing. I don't want to be without a man. I don't want to be alone. You see, and then they say, "Oh, your logic is twisted." No, you don't get it. He wants to get out there and earn it. He wants to get out there and fall. He wants to get out there and say that those shoes I bought him. That's what he wants. That's what he's trying to achieve. See, as men, we want to achieve things. We want to achieve. We want to go out there and build civilizations. We want to go out there and build businesses, provide for our families, provide for people, make sure that people have everything that they need to survive. And then when our sons come around, then we want to protect, we want to get them and prepare them for the same battle that they're going to have to face when they leave the nest, leave their mother and father, and they go and they start their own family. See, that's the thing we're getting twisted around here, people. That's the problem. Families are broken down. Why? Why are families broken down? Because nobody takes that institution of marriage seriously anymore. They don't take it seriously anymore. The idea of sex, it's not serious anymore. It's casual. And then all of a sudden a baby is arise and you realize I don't want to raise a kid with this baby. I don't even know this person's values. I don't even know what they believe. I don't even know what they care about, what their passions are. I don't know what their dreams, their goals are. This was just casual sex. We was just having sex with each other. Now all of a sudden we got a baby together. I don't like this dude. I don't like this girl. Oh no. I'm out of here. Oh no, we can't be together. Oh, we don't get along. You're not taking this. You're playing games with your life. You're playing games with these kids' lives. And now they don't grow up in a stable environment. This is why before you lay down, and this is why and this is a different video for a different time, but the abortion thing is such a problem because it gives people an out. Sex is real, it's permanent. There's more to it than just making babies. There's a spiritual connection that goes to it. You're making spiritual ties. I'll get into that in another video, but in this video, we're talking about how people don't want to take responsibility for themselves. And when we have this idea that we can just have casual sex, and that if the baby we somehow conceive the baby, we can just get rid of it, then we keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it. These people are never going to take responsibility for themselves because there's always somebody giving them an out. These young men should be knowing that they need to go out there and they are the providers and the protectors. They are the front line. They are the people that want to go out there and hold it down and make sure that the community is safe, make sure that the kids are safe. And they know that if we don't allow these young men to develop into the warriors that they're supposed to be, then the tribe is going to be taken over. And the women and children are going to be raped and beaten and slaughtered. But women on their own do not understand that. Mothers on their own do not understand that. They want to protect and coddle their kids. That's not what needs to happen. I always tell this story, and this is my personal story for myself, and I say it all the time because it's so like pertinent to what I'm talking about here. The time when I was about 10 years old, I think 10, 11, I was playing Pop Warner football for the first time, and I got hurt in one of my very first games, right? I got hurt. I got a stinger in my back, and it scared me because I thought I was paralyzed when it happened, right? So I came out of the game. I didn't play the rest of the game. Right. The next week we went to go play. I was hesitant to get in the game. I didn't want to play. I remember my coach asked me, I was playing running back, and the coach was like, "You want the ball?" And I told him, "I guess." That was my exact words. I guess. Right. So the coach did what he was supposed to do. He told my dad. So as we're driving home, I'm getting the silent treatment all the way home from my dad, right? Until we get back in the house, and I go and I'm getting ready to take a shower, and my dad and next thing you know, my dad is trying to come in the room, and my mom is like, hey, if you don't want to play, you don't need to play. That's what I'm hearing. Hey, if you don't want to play, he don't have to play. And my dad was like, hold on, I got I got this. And he closed the door and he sat me on the bed and he stood over me and he said, "What's wrong?" I said, "Nothing, of course, this and that." And he goes, "Look, I don't care if you don't want to play. If you don't like playing football, that's fine. You don't have to play. But you're not going to not play because you're scared. That's not happening." And he stood over me and he let me know this is you don't have no other options here. All that being scared, it's not happening. So you're gonna make your decision up right then and there. I played. I said, okay. I was more scared of him than than getting hurt out there. But at that point, there was a shift had taken place. He knew that I needed to go out there and I had to face my fear. See, if it was up to my mother, she would have kept me close. I wouldn't have played no football. I would have said, "Oh, I don't want to play. I'm hurt." And then who else knows what it could have been? See, a lot of the things I have with single mothers, right? Is a lot of them will sit here and talk bad about their kid's father, and they talk bad about these deadbeat dads, and they raise one. And there's a deadbeat dad sitting on the couch playing video games, smoking weed, drinking all day long. But they understand why Junior don't want to take care of his kids because his baby mama crazy. That's why. They understand that, but they can't see the craziness in themselves. See, the answer to this, right? The answer to this is that we form solid families. And we form solid families by, I know this is going to be controversial, right? Before you have kids, get married. Before you have children, get married. This baby mama culture, this baby daddy culture is destroying everything. For this young man right now in this video, the best thing that he can do, and I know a lot of women are going to hate me for saying this, and his mother would hate me for saying this, but the best thing that he can do is to get as far away from his mother as possible. If you're a young man and you have a single mother and you're 18, 19, 20, 21 years old, and you're still living at home with her and she's still paying all the bills and she's still taking care of you and she's still coddling you and she's still not letting you go out there and be a man and take on responsibilities as a man, the best thing that you can do is to get as far away as possible as you can. I'm sorry. I know that's going to ruffle some feathers, but that's just the truth. And I'm not saying to just forget mama, but you're never going to be any good to your mom. I believe that once children, what like the circle of life, right? When I was a baby, I was vulnerable, I was weak, so my parents took care of me. Now, as we get older, my parents will get weak and older and vulnerable and won't be able to take care of them. I'll take care of them. And then when I become old and weak and not being able to take care of myself, my kids will take care of me as I took care of them. It's just a circle of life. But this young man in this video, he's never going to be able to take care of his mom because his mom will take care of him to the death of her. And then he'll be on his own and he won't know where to go. He won't know what to do. He won't be able to take care of his mom. The best thing he can do, get as far away as possible, build his own life, build his own legacy, build his own wealth, establish his own family, and then come back and get mom and say, "Mom, you can live in the back house. Mom, we got a room, we got a place for you. Don't worry about anything. We'll take care of everything that you need." Yeah, I know you're mad. I know you're mad because I left you all alone for all them years, but I wasn't be able to do all this. We'd have been living on Section 8 government housing, living off food stamps for the rest of our lives. I had to get away from you. It took 10, 15 years, whatever. I know you're resentful, but you'll get over it. There goes, here's a little spending money. Go out there, play your little bingo, whatever it is you want to do. I don't know. But that's the best thing that he can do. That's the best advice he can give. And for those of you that don't have children, man, think about the people that you're laying down with. You want to raise a baby with them? Because this is what ends up happening. I know it's controversial. I know a lot of people don't want to talk about it, but you can't have feminine answers to masculine problems. If you like this video, you like the things that were in here, you want to support what I'm doing and support this channel, hit the link tree in the bio to my whole channel. There's a Cash App there. There's ways that you can support. Just share it with as many people as possible. Subscribe to the channel. We got some more stuff coming coming your way. Just go ahead and put it down. I mean, like, I'm not trying to be controversial, but I think there's some controversial things that need to be addressed, and I think a lot of people don't want to talk about them. You know what I mean? We got to tell the truth. We can try to make up all these things that we want and all these kind of fantasies, but the reality is that there's real lives that are being affected. So let's tell the truth, right? This is No Spoon Podcast. We talk about culture, politics, and common sense. My name is Shay. Until the next time, subscribe to the channel. See you then.